Hi, Michael. It's Jane Allison, and I just wanted to show you the issue I'm having with having all the kids record with me. And you maybe got the idea, but here I am. And it's very hard for the little ones to think up what they're going to say, to talk loud enough. I only have two microphones, so I would never be able to have them just do it independently at their seats. So I have them, when they've finished their drawing, they come up to me at my desk, and I have a whole line of them. And the idea would be to be able to go boom, 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 and have everyone record very quickly, one after the other. Uh, the trouble is, it's extremely cumbersome to navigate from one student to the next. And I just pushed the wrong thing. All right, so here are my classes. And you see I have quite a few. I have some from last year, but I teach kindergarten. I have 9 different classes of kindergarten kids. And if I use it with first grade later in the year, I'll have 9 more classes. So um, I'm a pretty heavy user of the program, and it's a great way. It meets the Common Core standards and works for them to publish their work, whereas in the past, their teachers were kind of hung up on, I'm the computer teacher, so their classroom teachers were hung up on just having them type in Word or something as a means of publishing, and um, this is a 200% um, better solution to that. So anyway, let's say I'm in Miss Key's class, and here's all my kids. So I would love to be able to just go from one to the next and record their um, their narration on their tales. I'm not sure what would be the best way. If there was maybe an additional management page that would give me the kid's name and their recording tool right next to it, that I could go boom, boom, boom. As it is right now, here I am. I go to Adams. Well, first of all, I find this very disconcerting. He has an assignment, but if I look at Tails um, and actually now when I switch back, it gives me the opposite information, even though oh, right, I know it has Tails. Actually, a minute ago, though, it gave me the opposite thing. So if I had assignments and it said I didn't have any. You're also not consistent about whether a thing is an assignment or a lesson. My question is there a reason these two things have to be separate for the kids? I understand that I would make assignments and they're making the tales, but once they're done, couldn't they all be in the same pot? That would make it hugely better for me and the kids. And we'll get back to that. So here's Adam. I also find the 3-column thing here overly complicated. I like this much better when you had the voice recording tool up here and the pages right underneath. 2 columns is much less complicated looking to kids. And you really have to bear in mind that I'm using this with children who are not yet readers, and many of them still mix up letters and things in my kindergarten classes. So that's always something to bear in mind. All right, nevertheless, here is the recorder, and one thing I want to tell you is it does not work in Chrome. I'm using Chrome right this minute. I know it does work in Internet Explorer, but we have something we're doing in another program that doesn't work in Internet Explorer and only works in Chrome. So all of that is really, really frustrating to somebody who's trying to use technology. So if there's a way for you to make the recorder work in Chrome, that would be ideal. All right, so let's say I record here, and then I want to go to the next kid. It would be so wonderful if, as a teacher, if my login would produce a button here that says manage classes, so that I could, or return to the class list would be better yet. That the kids wouldn't need to see that, but only me. Return to the class list. Because now I have to, if I go home again, that's the most cumbersome way to do it. I can back up, but then I get this, and then I get this, and then I have to find the next kid, and then I have to click this again, and then I'm ready to go here. And somehow it has added a tail since you made these changes for every one of my kids. They only have an assignment that I made for them. All right, so that is my biggest issue with what happens after the tails are finished. And it's really time consuming and cumbersome. I wish there was an easier way for me to do the recordings with them. I do want to talk again, and I'm sorry to belabor this, but let me just be a little more specific in some of my things on your homepage. I'm so glad you're going to eliminate the sign up, sign in. I'm honestly not sure why, but in fact, very few open the browser as a maximized window. They're all opening as a split screen thing, and so they're just begging to click the wrong button here. So again, these are not readers, and I'm really not sure why we need all these buttons here. I don't even really know what a shared tail is, and we never use that. I don't really have need to get to the gallery on the home page. I'm not sure why I would want to do that. And I know this is a new thing, but I don't know why we'd want to do that either. That wouldn't be a way that I would use the program. Maybe you have other people who do, but that wouldn't make sense to me. Create a tail, good. My lessons, again, to me, the lessons and the tails are all alike. Now I'm using it with really, really little kids. I gather for older children, the lessons would have instructions and things that I don't put on there. But wouldn't it be possible? I can make a lesson, but the kids don't need to know that's a lesson. They just need to know what their projects are over here. So to them, there's no distinction between the tails and the lessons. If there's a way to just put everything in the same box, that would be much easier for them. All of this is fine, that's my stuff, but I think this should be significantly simplified. So again, these are kids that aren't reading. So another thing that would certainly help would be to have icons here that look like the thing you're doing. So create a tail, maybe a pencil or something, or here the art pad. Inside you're using an icon of an art palette. My tails, I don't know, there has to be the little bird isn't telling them what this says. And again, I would cut out half of these at least. There's too many buttons. Over here, I really feel that these scrolling boxes here just make the look of the program complicated. All of this scrolling is a manual dexterity thing that is really hard for my 5- and 6-year-olds. They have trouble with clicking, like lining up their mouse and clicking in the right place. Scrolling and knowing which of these scroll bars to use. I mean, there's 3 here to choose from. Actually, if we count this, 4, 5. There's way too many instructions that they need to know. And the biggest thing, I know you were trying to make this easy, but if I have 6 projects here, I have to be able to read to know which one I want to choose. And my kids don't read. So I can say to them, you know, if it comes up like this, and I really want them to open up people in the community. First off, if I say scroll down to people in the community, they have umpteen choices for where they might choose to scroll. And if we scroll here, I can say, look and see words that look like this. Starts with a P, but that's difficult. And so now I have to go around to each and every child and say, click here, click here, click here, where I never had to do that before. I could show them on my smart board because it was really the one of maybe one or two choices over here. So click the top one or the bottom one, whatever. This is complicated. They also don't read this. It's just too many words. I don't know why they need their recent art here either. They don't need that on the home page. It just complicates the look of the page. They might need it when they go in, and really the only time they're going to need it is if they've closed up their project without saving, or they got the pages messed up or something, and I would have to help them put the picture on the right page. So I realize that you are interested in streamlining how to use this, but I think that trying to put every single thing here on your home page defeats the purpose. There's just way too little white space here on the page for little ones. If you think about a kindergarten picture book, that's what it should look like. I don't know what your demographic is, who's using it, but I would say that much younger children would use this more readily than, you know, say fourth or fifth graders. I would, you know, if you can, get yourself a group of kindergartners and see how, you know, you really have to appreciate what it is to work with kids who don't read. They are looking at visual clues, and they have fewer of them now. So I guess that's for me the big issues. Again, if there must be some programming reason, but I would try and get lessons and tales all combined and show me just the most recent one over here and have a button to go to previous ones or something. They're not working on more than one at a time. I don't think that would rarely be the case. So we don't need to have all these choices of which project to look at. It's just complicating. And again, cut down all the buttons. That would be my big suggestion. All right, I will, I'll send this off to you, and hopefully you'll ponder some of my suggestions.